Okay, hi guys. And today we're gonna learn how to identify line symmetry. We're gonna practice this with a quick 7 questions with Khan Academy. Which shape have line symmetry? To know which shapes have line symmetry, you must see what is a line of symmetry. So let's first draw a shape, like let's say a square. This is our square. So a line of symmetry is something that folds, which is goes down the shape. Like let's do this, and one side, like this side, folds over to the other side. So let's see what will happen. So let me just use a different color to make this more visible. And so first it'll be this and this. And then this. So this is easily not symmetrical because all the color here, all the area here is left missing. Let's try to draw another square. This time we'll try to get it right. This time we go down the middle here, and oops, I can draw better than that. So if we draw a square here or a rectangular square, and we do it down the middle, I need to change colors here. If this area is truly down the middle, which is what I've aimed for at least, so you can count that it's down the middle, then it'll aim up something like this. So this line of symmetry, make sure that this area and this area perfectly can fall down to each other however you want. So this can be a line of, wait, let me just put it in black. So, line of symmetry example. So this line of symmetry that you see down here is pretty simple, as in a square, but you guys get the idea of what a line of symmetry is, right? So let me just erase that, otherwise we don't have much room anymore. So let's see A. So let's first go down the middle like we have in our example to see if down the middle works. Zoop. And that clearly is not looking quite so middleish, or even like it'll flip over, like this area would look at this point here, would go like this point here, this point here would go at this point here, this point would line up perfectly to this point, but otherwise it's not looking very symmetrical to me. Otherwise, let's draw another line like straight like that. So let's see, there's this point. Oh, let me do that. There's this point will line up right away on this point. Does not work. This point will line up to this point. Well, we can see that even if one point like here is not symmetrical, it won't be a symmetrical count, but I'm gonna just do it for the exercise's sake. So let's just move on because we're already a little high on time. So let's just keep going. Otherwise, let's go to B. B looks like, I think, yep, it's a hexagon. So we could just see here A is not symmetrical. So B, let's line down the middle here. Hope that isn't perfectly middle, so I'll try again. Okay, good enough, I'd say. So this line will line up to this line. So this will line up to this. So this line is not a perfect line of symmetry. This could be quite surprising, but let's try down the middle from here. This line, this would perfectly line up with this. This will go straight down the middle, like that, to here. And this would go straight down the middle of here. So now B, B is a line of symmetry. Let's see C. C looks like a weird shape. We don't really see it much. Let's try like that. So this be triangle, triangle. This be triangle. That does not work. This one really doesn't look very symmetrical either. From a point of view like that, it looks like this. Still here. This point goes up to this point, which isn't very accurate since the shape doesn't have proper ends and points either. So that will be quite weird, I'd say. So this is quite tough, I'd say, to decipher. But to here would it go here, and here would have to go down way here, which is off the square. So we know B is the only one with a perfect line of symmetry. So the ding-a-ding, and we're gonna move on. So draw a line of symmetry through the pentagon by connecting two black points. So let's see this, and that's out of the picture. So let's see this image. This does not feel very high. Is it even perfectly in the middle? Let's say anyway. So this point should line up with this point, which is clearly not one. So that point, those points cannot work. Otherwise, never mind. Let's take that off and let's go. Try to go straight down the middle, as that often works. Not always though, so you can't be quite sure. Like on the hexagon one, the up. Let me just draw quick. Remember when we were doing the hexagon? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the hexagon. It wasn't. Something like that. This didn't quite work. So remember that even the most obvious ones cannot work, but still they're pretty useful. Let's say here this point would stretch, will go right over the line to this one. Correct it. Well, this one will go straight on line hip. This point, but if you see undo it. Let's move. Okay, that's good. If it say, and these points, a line goes right through these two points, but there isn't a point here. Let's go perfectly over here. So this would fold over here, so I think we should check this. This would be correct. So this can be a bit confusing since you think this doesn't go here. But a line of symmetry is a line where we can fold the image and have both halves match exactly. Okay, the position, the line of symmetry should look something like this. This would go to hip, and this would go to hip. And why didn't we worry about this going to here? Why wasn't that wrong? Because we can clearly say this area does have a point. But you see, when you do a line of symmetry down the middle, we don't have to care where this and this goes. So I think that's very interesting. So we can go to the next question. Which of the following shapes show a line of symmetry? So there's only one answer here. I think I found it on A because this looks pretty perfect down the middle. So one line here, one line here, straight down from each other. Down the middle, they go like this, and they cut. Remember, now that they're cut down the middle, so this goes like this. We check like this, right? Oop. I think that could be a little tough to say. So let me change color. So when the line of symmetry is like, never mind. So when the line of symmetry is this. So it's at a text box that says line of symmetry. And the line of symmetry is this. The way we look turns to this. Way we look turns to this. So this is why this and this will match up. And this is why now, we don't want no text box. Delete, backspace, anything. And this is why now we check it from up here to here, which is perfectly matching up so far. But let's check it all. And it looks like A is a line of symmetry. We can check the others if you want. This one also. This is right on the line, so let's go right here, and you already see B doesn't work. So see, look, the first one matches up perfectly. Nope, this one doesn't either. It's right on the line. It's not a complete distance away. So it can't be B or C. It has to be A. Let's move on to a fourth problem. Which shapes have line symmetry? Choose all of them that apply. So first, let's look at A shape. One right down the middle. This is what we always do. So one point A, if you go straight, it won't go out of the shape, but the other point will line up at the exact other spot, and you only have two other points to check. So this would go all the way here, right across the middle. As you don't have to check these 2 points. So A we know is a line of symmetry. So we can check B. B here, really angled. So a triangle is pretty hard to do sometimes, but let me do this. This is not obviously straight down the middle, but I'll try my best. I'll try a little better. That one couldn't quite get. Okay, done. I just did it. If this is a perfect middled line, this would go up here. This would go right here. So the 2 spots would be right over here. But let me make it quite easier for you and do it with different colors. So one spot would be here. The other would be here. And I'll go to black again. Black would get even bigger. And then orange or green will get even bigger. So it'll look like that. So that's why I think B should also be line of symmetry. Let's look at C. I've got A and B already. Just look at this. Straight down the middle. So let's just end this straight down the middle since we're running low on time. Could do this, go to here. But would this will actually also go to hair, but would this though? Would this? I don't think so, but let's do on a bigger scale so it's easier. This is pretty easy to mimic. So the shape looks something like this. So we go straight down the middle. Here, this point, we go to this point, already wrong. These points line up nicely, and this point line up nicely, but these points don't line up quite nicely, since even when we try to do it pretty much in the middle, it doesn't quite work. Let's try another line of symmetry. Another line of symmetry straight down the middle. Here, this goes to here again. That works. Otherwise, this would go straight up to here where there's nothing. This would go, and this would go down to here. So leaving this gap which is outside of picture space. So that's why I personally don't think say is part. Which shapes have line symmetry? So did I get you there? Was I wrong? So see, it's like this, the following shape. So let's go to our next question. You draw a line of symmetry through the pentagon by connecting the two black points. So does this look pretty similar? To me, this to here, this. Ooh, for this innate and imaginary point like that, but which we don't have. So that line of symmetry cannot work. So now let's look at this. This point will go straight down to this point. This point goes straight down to this point. So this should be our line of symmetry. Correct. Let's move on. So the following shapes do show a line of symmetry. I choose one. So this one perfectly shows a line of symmetry personally. Look, this goes here to here, straight like that. This goes here. This goes here. This goes straight down the line. So this easily shows a line of symmetry in the process of elimination. When it's a multiple choice and we can only choose one, this would have to be our answer. Correct. Let's move on. And our last option is which shapes align with symmetry. I think this has a line of symmetry because I'll show you guys. Let's go straight, line of symmetry. So these will go here, but so once again, there's no point E for that. We'll need some more room. So I'm gonna change my decision to nope. That's not that. That's not. This is like a B. B will go straight down the middle once again, and let's go here. This for that we need quite a diamondish shape, like something like this, a diamondish shape, and we don't have a diamondish shape. So let's go to C, and none of them like can't pay. So we'll have to double check our work. Let's go straight down the middle. This will easily go to here, and this I think should go to here. So this also surprisingly looks like a line of symmetry. Otherwise, let's see if this also is a line of symmetry, but otherwise let's also check A and B once again to see if there's a line of symmetry that we have it checked. So line straight down the middle. this once again. I'll need to go to here. So babe, I'm not finding any lines of symmetry for B. Either the diagonals are very hopefully that since diagonals are very becoming very hopeful to me. So let's check A. If A has any other lines of symmetry. So we go straight down the middle. This would go to here. So that's all I only have to go with only and only C. Let's say B. Which one is correct? So you got this correct. Obviously, let's use an imaginary line where the image is folded to make two halves act exactly like mirror images. So we improved our skills, and this one went super long. So that'll be a wrap for today, guys. Bye.